Most people try to connect by being interesting, but psychology tells us that's the fastest way to push people away. Real connection comes from something that most people overlook. And once you get it, the conversation starts to feel completely natural. This video will break down 5 behaviors that make people want to spend time with you. Be sure to stay to the end because the last behavior quietly shapes how people remember you after you leave. Behavior 1: make people feel understood. Research shows that feeling genuinely heard creates emotional safety, which is one of the strongest foundations of trust and attraction. When someone feels heard, their body relaxes. They stop scanning for judgment and stop worrying about how they're coming across. That's often the moment people begin to open up naturally. Where most people go wrong is responding too quickly with advice or solutions. Someone shares something stressful, or a frustration, or uncertainty, and the instinct is to help by fixing it. But even helpful advice can accidentally communicate, "You shouldn't feel this way," or "You're handling this wrong." The subtle message can shut people down. A more connecting response is curiosity. If someone mentions that they're stressed at work, instead of jumping in with a suggestion or your own story, you might say, "That sounds so exhausting. What part has been the hardest lately?" That follow up does something powerful. It signals presence and not performance. You are not trying to fix anything. You're showing that what they're saying really matters. Another example is when someone says, "I've just been feeling off lately." Instead of asking why, which can be interrogating, you might say, "What's that been like for you?" That small shift lowers pressure and invites openness. Over time, people may not remember your exact words, but they will remember how connected they felt talking to you. Behavior number 2: slow down. How you speak matters. Even strong words lose impact if they're rushed. Research on nonverbal communication shows that slower, calmer speech is often associated with confidence and emotional control. When someone speaks too quickly, listeners can subconsciously sense nervousness or tension, even if the message is solid. This matters most during emotional moments. Many people rush to fill silence because it feels uncomfortable, especially during conflict. But silence isn't a problem, it's information. When you slow down, you give the other person room to feel heard. For example, imagine you're in the middle of an argument and your partner says, "I feel like you really don't listen to me." The natural reaction is to defend yourself or explain your side. But if you pause, take a breath, and say, "Okay, tell me more," that pause shows you're actually processing what they said, not just waiting to respond. That calm presence often lowers emotional intensity. It shifts the interaction from two people trying to be right into one real conversation. Confidence isn't loud, it's relaxed, and relaxed people feel safer to connect with. Behavior number 3: create shared experiences. Connection deepens when people feel that they've shared an experience rather than just exchanging words. Psychological research on closeness shows that shared moments, even small ones, increase bonding because they create a sense of us. This doesn't require humor or big gestures. Often it's about naming the moment you're already in, saying things like, "This conversation feels easier than I expected," or "I didn't think we'd talk about this, but I'm glad we did." Turns a normal interaction into a shared experience. Remember, moments can bring people together, whether big or small. If something awkward happens, like getting lost or messing something up, you can either assign blame or share the moment. Saying something like, "Well, at least we're dealing with it together," signals a partnership. When people feel like you're on their side, not keeping score, their guard drops. And when the guard drops, connection grows without effort. Behavior number 4: match the vibe. Connection feels easier when your emotional energy lines up with the other person's. The Journal of Social and Personal Relationship shows that people feel more comfortable and bonded when the pace and tone of the conversation is matched. You felt this when it doesn't happen. You're exhausted and someone comes in full of energy, or you're in a playful mood and the other person suddenly turns serious. Nothing offensive was said, it just feels off. For example, if someone opens up about something personal in a calm, quiet way, and you respond with loud excitement, you might accidentally snap the moment in half. On the flip side, if someone is joking and energetic and you respond flatly, the mood dies fast. Matching energy doesn't mean pretending to be someone you're not. It's about tuning in before responding. When you do that consistently, people feel understood without you having to say anything. This creates connection that feels natural and not forced. Behavior number 5, give compliments. Generic compliments don't create connection because they don't feel earned. Research tells us that people experience specific, thoughtful compliments as more genuine and more memorable than vague praise. The brain reads them as attention, not flattery. Most people default to obvious compliments, especially appearance. But what lands deeper is noticing how someone shows up. For example, if someone explains something clearly to you, you might later say, I like how you explain things. You make it easy to follow without talking down to me. That tells them that you weren't just waiting for your turn to speak. You were actually listening. These kinds of compliments connect directly to feeling seen. And that feeling doesn't disappear when the conversation ends. It lingers, making people feel more relaxed and open around you over time. That's why mastering this simple behavior can change the way people gravitate towards you. Remember, connection isn't about being impressive. It's built through small moments of presence, calm, and understanding. You don't need to do everything at once. Try one or two of these behaviors and notice how conversations and connections start to feel easier and more natural. Let us know in the comments which one you're going to try first. Now, once you make your connection and you want to increase your flirting skills, check out our video on how to flirt effortlessly. Remember, keep believing in yourself, and we will see you in the next video.